Creatives to me are escapists, are darers, are explorers, are people that seek different perspectives in life just for the purpose of telling a unique story. My name is J.L.L Lawrence, otherwise known as J.L.L. I'm 26 years old and I'm a music producer from Kingston, Jamaica. I discovered my talent and passion for music, I would say grade 8 to 9 at Ardenne High School. One of my brethren played a beat for me, and then instantly I was very inspired. When I was able to export my first beat, that's when it locked in for me, like, yo, music is like my next thing, you know? I had so much control and the barrier to entry was so low. I didn't need a bag of money to start. I didn't need like all this material, all this gear, and I just got in that easily. My family actually was very supportive of my decision doing music. What I'm grateful for is that they just saw with me. So they encouraged me to go through school and finish that process, but they also didn't really limit me from making music or going to sessions or doing my own thing, and that's even why I'm here right now, because I was able to have some sort of balance with school and music, and I completed my studies as far as I have, and I'm still doing music. Music production, like any creative field, is as viable as anybody wants to make it, and I think anyone can be a music producer. But at the same time, not everyone can be a music producer. You have to have a certain passion for what you do, but also the mindset to learn to change, because not all of us grow up being business-minded or like being focused or being goal-oriented. Sometimes you just want to make something. When you're opposed from a 9 to 5 or opposed from doing something that's more strict and rigorous, you know, you're gonna have to learn that 9 to 5s and strict and rigorous things have rules and guidelines for a reason, you know, and that reason is basically to set the foundation for that creative work to make sense, you know, and for you to make money off of your work and for you to be respected in the field. I think good quality music is music that is able to express itself, is able to connect with people, and I think that's very important, you know, especially in our culture, because people do need that kind of connection to get through their days, to relate to something, to have that extra support, you know, through just listening to someone who they can relate to. To live is to be inspired. You know, I think of a lot of ideas, a lot of grooves, melodies in my head, and sometimes I run to the computer, run to an instrument and just put it down. Or sometimes I just start with a blank slate, go through sounds, try to get inspired in the moment. Sometimes it really does kind of approach out of the blue. The first beat I ever made, if I remember, it was called Evil Laugh Rhythm. FL Studio, as Fruit Loops, most people know it as, had this pack where they had like these samples and it had like this laugh that I like, so like, we take that, I'm gonna just like sample it in my little way of sampling back then. Just looped it, added drums. It just sounded like a mess, but then, you know, it had a little groove. It was weird, and I like bucket in the house. It's far, 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 far in the trenches of beats that I started out with. I kept it for a while, you know, just to listen back and just share my progress, but I will never play that for anybody. The support by producers in Jamaica has actually been pretty good. One of the first producers I got, you know, full support from was Teflon. But otherwise, producers like Ayatosh, producers like Rhythm Boss, John Ross, I've grown up with those producers and they've done nothing but support me and provide positive feedback and energy to my career. There's many producers that I admire and have admired. And the biggest, best, hugest inspiration, the genius. He is the sole reason as to why I even probably am making beats to the degree I'm making them right now, or to the meticulousness I'm making them right now, because of him. I actually would love if he could mentor me, if possible. But I know he's a very busy man and he's still very much in the grind. You're always gonna need someone that has done it to a great degree. Even if it's just to watch interviews or look at the Instagram or hear them talk on lives. It's something that I've always desired because any creative journey is a confusing roadmap. The roads go everywhere. There's a few experiences in my career that really kind of shocked me. And I think one of those first instances was working with a Kelissa, then working with a Chronix, people who I viewed very highly before I even started working with any high-profile artists, and seeing just a piece of the life of what it means to be a professional in the business, and fast forwarding to Masego with Navajo in 2017, seeing how that track just blew up like organically, and fast forwarding to 2021 with Drake, with the same Masego song. That to me, to this day, is the biggest surprise amongst many. The best thing to do is just allow the music to breathe, allow your art to breathe. Don't restrict your art. Your art has a voice of its own. That beat kinda did all the work for me. The I Love You beat, from I put it out, put the story in, it just flew away while I was living my life and stressing myself out. It just like, yo bro, I got something now. I was just like, what do you mean? I got Drake. Drake? How do you get that? Just like, bro, I don't know. He just liked me, and he just liked my story, and it just worked great with his album. I was just like, okay, cool, I guess, and you just let it do its thing. It's not even, yeah, I made the beat, but the beat just took a life on its own and just was a soldier for me,
Champagne poetry. These are the effortless flows, supposedly something else is controlling me.
That to me is the biggest surprise that to this day, I remember when the Grammy nomination happened and I wasn't on my phone and my brethren tapped me on the shoulder and was just like, yo, Grammy nominated producer, him start shape me. I'm just like, what? It felt great. Like even being associated with a Grammy that close. And not just with a reggae artist, but with one of the biggest artists in the world who happens to be a hip-hop artist. The biggest thing that it really opened up in me is the fact that the value is now a lot higher. The reality of it is I'm just a human being. I think a majority of the things I've created that I'm known for were created way before now. Like, I am seeing the fruits of my labor from years ago. And I give thanks. When I'm not making beats, nowadays I'm trying my best to really enjoy myself to some degree, but also create a foundation and a structure for my business, and further try to attain a higher level of independence and seriousness with the music. And that takes conversations, that takes time away from the music, that takes different perspectives, and also it takes just living your life, because if I'm not talking and networking or trying to figure things out, I'm just watching videos, I'm playing games, I'm eating food, I'm chilling with friends. I'm being as social as I can be for a very not social person. Yeah.
My name is Ayatash, me and J.L.L. with the basics. Don't know so with the I feel pick up the creatives. And the rhythm just up one, we just say this. Make them know so we just always happy we no say this. We just recording and we there with creatives. The studio is one of many places that people come to just create in all the spaces, yeah.